Hi everyone, it's Megan Wise with the Portfolio Podcast, and today is a really special one for me because it's one of my youngest brokers in all of the company, Carson Kalin. Hello, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so happy you're here. The Portfolio Podcast is here to talk about all things real estate, investing, growing as a person, and helping create generational wealth for you and your family. And so I was really excited for you to come today because at the ripe age of 19, you have decided to join our real estate brokerage.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the background and how you decided real estate and a little bit about your passion for that.
Well, initially, the reason I got into real estate was I had no clue it was even something that I could have the opportunity to get into.
Yeah.
And initially, I say this every time, it all started with just a Facebook post. My parents used to work with another realtor that 20 years ago, he just jumped into real estate and we stayed connected the entire time. My parents were actually his first purchase with a home.
Cool.
And I mean, 20 years ago he started, and 20 years later he wanted me as an assistant, and I got to meet with him and just connect with him and watch how he ran his business, helped people out. And I learned a lot from that, and he eventually sat me down and was like, Carson, do you want to be a real estate agent? Do you want to do what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Because you have the ability, you can do it.
That's
it's just
cool.
up to you. And
Wow.
I was like, no hesitation. I was like, yes, I want to do it. And I mean, I even see myself throughout high school, throughout elementary, junior high, all of that. No matter what it is, I've always tried to help people.
Yeah.
Whether it's, the majority of the time, it's been lawn care, because my dad and my grandpa, they started a lawn care business years ago.
Cool.
And I've always hustled, I've always helped out people, and it's never been about the dollar that I get. It's about the connection that I build, people that I meet, and what comes from that.
That's so neat. So you started with your parents' realtor from 20 years ago, and you kind of started to see the ins and outs of the business.
Yeah.
And after a year, he encouraged you to go get your license and become a full-blown realtor.
Yeah.
At the age of 19.
At the age of 19. Well, actually, I was 17.
Yeah.
I was 17. He brought up the idea, and I was like, yeah, let's do this.
That's great.
Because I did have the opportunity to go to Marion College for rugby, but I had to get hip surgery in December. So it was a big decision of, do I want to move forward with college and play a college sport, D1?
Wow.
Or do I want to try and make something out of this real estate? Because my dad, he's been a huge mentor to me this entire time, and he brought up all the aspects of what I could build out of real estate, and with how young I am, and how much I could learn. And what I've really tried to keep with myself the entire time is, what can I teach to others?
Yeah.
How can I, everything from investments to just saving your money, to building that generational wealth, those early steps.
Yeah.
Nobody teaches that in school.
No.
I mean, maybe I had one class where it was a semester of like, okay, here's how to be financially responsible, but no clue how to buy.
One class isn't set up for generational wealth.
Not at all.
That's such a good point, because as a former teacher, I remember being in the schools, and kids don't understand entrepreneurism or being a business owner unless you live it because your parents are it.
Yep.
So it's really neat for you to take that leap and to go from D1 rugby, which would be awesome. You have to be disciplined. You have to take care of your body, your mind. You have to go to practice, and it's a lot to take on. But so is real estate. So choosing between the two was probably really tough.
Yeah, it was really tough because all my friends were going to Marion. I started rugby in 6th or 7th grade, and I stuck with the same people the entire time.
Oh, I love that.
Even throughout high school. I mean, I was big with wrestling, football, rugby. So the discipline is a huge thing to me, and
I think it's neat that sports teach more than just going on the field. You learn discipline and time management and camaraderie and being on a team.
Yep.
So speaking of teams, how did you get to Keller Williams Portfolio and finding us?
Well, initially it was through one of your agents, Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle.
And I was just watching his social media and watching how he was growing, because he started in January.
Yeah.
And I was just watching him because I was connected with him before I started real estate, before he started real estate. Just seeing
you guys
him.
know each other at the gym? Was that it?
Yeah, I met him at a gym, and
cool.
he was shooting some social media for one of my church friends.
Okay.
And it was just a cool little introduction. Followed each other on Instagram, just followed what he did. And through that buddy, he said, oh, hey, Kyle started real estate. I was like, oh, okay. Let me see how things are going for him. And
yeah.
He was just pumping it out through social media. And I saw him eventually join Keller Williams Portfolio, and it was just crazy to see, oh, they're doing a flip together. They're teaching how to do these flip proper.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to start with a flip.
Sure.
Because
No,
I'm all about investments. I love the stock market. I love the housing market. I love all of it.
That's great.
I learned so much, and it's a huge opportunity. And
is.
seeing that, and then him inviting me to your guys' first flip,
Yeah.
I got to meet you. I got to meet the whole team. I got to feel how warm the environment was. And I think I was just sold right there. I had other teams that were wanting to interview me, get to know, and kind of see, do we want Carson on our team? And I didn't even bother with them. No offense to them, obviously, but I got to meet you and Kyle, sat down, and you just, the plan you had, the vision you have for me is just, it's attracted me towards you a lot.
Yeah, I love that. And thanks for that. And I think it was really neat because I remember seeing you in the corner of our flip, talking about scope of work and how do you find contractors in our house at 5677 North College.
Yep.
That was a successful flip and inspired so many people. And I didn't know that it was going to be so impactful. So I'm really proud of it. And I'm so glad that you went because I had this memory of you standing in the back and being like, and it's hard because you're new and it's a big group and we're all kind of loud and crazy. And there's some introverts too, right?
Yeah.
But it was like, that is a bold move for you to reach out to Kyle. A lot of people don't want to make that first step or like, what's going on? What is this about? Ask the question so you have interest. And then for Kyle to invite you and you're like, yeah, sure, I'll go. Like you don't know any of the 30 people standing in that living room,
no clue.
But you didn't care. You just walked right in and hung out. And that's part of what you probably learned through athletics is you just show up and you see what happens, right?
Yeah.
So a couple weeks later, I think, or maybe a week or two later, we connect one-on-one for an appointment to talk about possibly you joining us. And I want to talk about it because it was just so special to me because I have a passion and it's in my long-term vision is to go back into the schools. Since I taught and counseled at Carmel High School and at Mount Vernon High School, I was really entrenched with the kids and what they were going to do post-high school. And no one ever talked about real estate as a career. Yeah. No one talked about it when I was in school. No one talked about it when you were in school.
Not at all.
But it's a great career. And I just was really inspired when we met because you see that as a great long-term career for you.
Yeah.
And so the cool story I want to tell the audience is that when you showed up, and I do probably 20 to 30 meetings a month. And you showed up, you were dressed very nicely, you had a suit jacket on, you brought a resume. I was like, this is my man. Like, you knew to take it seriously and not just show up in jeans. And you realize you got to dress how you want to appear to others, to dress well, you feel better, and then to bring a resume to show what you guys what you have done in your past. Like, that just showed to me that you took it seriously. And I'm going to pour into people who take this seriously.
Yeah.
So the cool story is you came to join us, and I immediately messaged my secretary and said, I need you to bring documents right now. I want Carson on my team, right? And in the middle of guys' coffee, she runs down a folder of all the documents to become a member of the WISE group, which to me is an exclusive group where you get poured into weekly, daily, and we inspire and empower one another. And so I just was so thankful that you were willing to take this seriously and bet on yourself, that I wanted to bet on you.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm someone that it does take me a little bit of time to warm up to people, and everyone would, I think Kyle was in that meeting, right?
Yep.
And what were your thoughts during that time?
Well, my thoughts initially was like, okay, I don't know if I want to move teams just yet. I mean, I've been with this other broker for a long time. I've learned a lot from him. We're really close.
Yeah.
And he's watched me since day one. He knows my family. He knows everything.
Yeah.
So that initial conversation I was having with you guys, it was very, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I have a very strong feeling in my gut and in my heart, and just the way you portrayed yourself, the way Kyle portrays himself, the way you guys dress, all of that.
Yeah.
It's really inspired me, and I mean, you guys are huge mentors to me now.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just something I really want to grow into because I felt like I could learn a lot from you guys, and betting on myself, that was the biggest thing, because back to my dad being my biggest mentor, I mean, he didn't even get to meet you, and he was like, Carson, she's the one.
Oh, I love that.
It has nothing to do with production. It has nothing to do with what you post on social media. It's just the way you want to pour into me.
Yeah.
And it really just got me invested in wanting to learn more, do more, and just learn firsthand from you guys what you guys do here at Keller Williams
Yeah.
portfolio.
Yeah, I love that. And I think your dad added me on Facebook. And I was like, oh, that's Carson's dad. That's so cool. And then I'm like, wait, how old am I that my new teammate's dad wants to meet me, right? So it makes me feel so much older than I am. But it also, I love like you took the chance and I took the chance on you and that we're going to grow together in my leadership skills and in your real estate skills. And it's been a really cool journey since you joined. I just feel like you become this like butterfly kind of, and it's been what, a couple months?
Yeah, I mean,
2-3 months?
maybe a month and a half.
Gosh, it feels like forever, doesn't it?
It feels like so much longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just about like dressing the part or looking the part. It's about feeling the part and feeling confident. And so when I created the vision and portfolio, I really felt like we need to create a professional brokerage where we are professionals and we treat our clients to the utmost of respect, no matter the price point. And so dressing well for closings and for showings, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. It comes down to customer service and how you feel in yourself confident. And you can't feel confident if you don't have a team behind you, right? So whether you're on the Wise Group or you're just in portfolio, that's what I love about our culture is that we're all a team. So you took the chance, and I was really excited in that meeting. I just felt really inspired because I asked you, in a couple of years, once you get your feet under you, what are we going to do? But do you remember what I asked?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, the biggest thing I want to take from that is not necessarily become where you are in your position,
Right.
but grow into my own position where I'm at a similar level or even better than where you're at right now.
Crush it,
I mean, the sky's the limit with me, and I mean,
you got age and youth and time on your side. And I want to take this story off of the podcast and into the schools one day, so we can go talk to juniors and seniors who are like, you know what, I don't want to go to 100K in debt to go to college, and my family can't support that right now. So I'm going to make my own way, and I think this generation sees that with the help of social media, right? So tell us a little bit about the social media game that you are doing, and how did Kyle like inspire you, and what have you done with it? How are you using it for your advantage?
So with social media right now, I'm still kind of building out my niche. I really want to curate it into something where it's bringing value to anyone that comes across my page, my Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it doesn't matter. If anyone sees my face, I want them to gain some value from what I'm putting out there. And the big thing I want to push is when you come out of high school, when you come out of college, it is possible to start those early steps of financial freedom.
Yeah,
it's possible.
It is.
And I understand me being a 19-year-old, not necessarily owning my own home yet, but I have no debt. I understand investments. I'm financially literate.
Correct.
And I'm learning more and more every day. And it's just something I want to keep pushing out there because I'm not looking for the sale right now.
No.
Like you said, I have time. I'm young, and I have all these advantages to where I could turn it into something where I don't need to pay for rent right now.
No, you don't.
I don't need to rely on the next paycheck.
No.
It's obviously a nice thing, but it's a way better feeling seeing someone's face when I teach them something and they're like, oh crap.
I love that.
This is actually possible. Oh my gosh.
Didn't you just have a friend that's asking you about renting and you were going to help them to rent?
Yep.
And now what's happened?
Actually, her nephew, they're all living together. Her nephew has a pretty good credit score. So I brought up the idea to them, guys, we may not be able to get you into a rental. I'm looking at private landlords, property management companies, reaching out to them, seeing if they can make exceptions because they're not in the best position.
Sure.
But their nephew has good credit. So I've really taught them and brought the idea of, guys, you may be able to be pre-approved for a house. And what Jennifer's the client, she said to me, she was like, I would love the opportunity to own, but it doesn't seem like an option right now. And just showing them that it is possible, that they don't have to live in that rent trap for the rest of their life. It's really brought it. Yeah, it's life-changing. I mean, they've been nothing but thankful. Still teaching them the basics of what a loan is, how to get a loan, connecting them with a lender, understanding all these different financial pieces of getting your first home or just becoming financially literate. That's a huge thing for anyone.
I agree. And I think that people don't really get there till our 30s or 40s because we spend our 20s like chasing the dollar or buying Starbucks or spending too much on rent and not thinking about how to save. So living with your parents for a couple of years to save money for a down payment so you can buy at the age of 22 instead of at 32. Can you imagine you can retire way earlier? So I'm excited to share this like financial literacy at a young age and then like break it down because we're in two different spheres.
Yeah.
But you are able to be that voice for the 20 somethings of like, how do I get out of debt? How do I save? How do I build my credit? And I think if you are empowered to help your sphere and your age group, they're all going to lean on you to purchase or to invest. And then you are able to invest and purchase for yourself along the way and show, just like I have with my flips, you're going to show your friends and other clients how to do it because you're doing it, which is such a cool example. And it's a great thing that you understand what you have and you're taking a hold of it. So speaking of, I remember a couple months ago, I reached out to everyone who was about 30 or younger in our group, who was about 5 or 6 of us. And I said, I would love to help sponsor you guys to go to the Keller Williams Young Professional Summit. And we grabbed a quick little group chat. And a couple weeks later, you messaged me and said, I'm going. And my heart just exploded because like I would have loved that opportunity. Would love it now for my company to pay me to go anywhere to learn because I'm a lifelong learner. But for you to realize that opportunity and then you're like, I'm going to do this. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Well, initially it was kind of stressful because I will say it was my first trip alone.
That's
by myself,
crazy.
No family, nothing. I didn't even have a teammate go with me.
No one that you knew.
So no one I knew. So
Wow.
it was a whole bunch of new faces, bunch of new people, and I couldn't be more thankful for how warm they are.
I love that.
They were when they were welcoming me because initially when I got to meet the first group of people, first day, I was standing there hesitant to introduce myself and
feeling a little nervous.
Yeah, someone called me out and they were like, "Who are you?" I was like, "I'm Carson." And that started the conversation of like, okay, you seem pretty young. How old are you? 19. And it blew all of their minds because this is a 30 and under event. And I'm pretty sure the only other person that came from Indiana was Xavier over at the Carmel office. And I think he's in his mid-20s.
You're right, yep.
So going into it being the youngest kid, showing up to even their bar events.
Yeah, that's right.
Having someone walk me back.
We talked about that not being legal, and they're handing you drink tickets.
Oh, I didn't.
You're like, drink tickets. We're not doing that.
Nope.
Not that type of work event.
I'm here to learn. I'm here to connect with people.
Yeah.
And it was a crazy experience because not only did I get to learn a bunch of different life aspects from other people, not just about business, about how they run their life.
Yes.
How they schedule. How they're licensed in different states. And just building a connection with every single person I could meet.
Great.
And even following up with that after the event.
Yeah, that's where the fortune is follow up.
I've collected probably 50 to 60 different contacts.
Wow.
Just other agents all around the country.
Yeah.
And I want to keep growing that because I feel like there's a lot of value. And even if they're not in the same state, even if they're not in the same business, if they focus on investments only, rentals only, it doesn't matter. There's always something I can learn from them.
Yeah.
So staying connected.
Yeah.
And building that referral base of, okay, if they have someone that needs help in Indiana,
you're their person.
Yeah, I can be their go-to person.
I just loved seeing your videos. So you guys follow Carson because you showed a video that you had this nice suite and you had to go immerse yourself. And that's very scary at 19 to go hang out with a bunch of 28-year-olds or 25-year-olds, but everyone was welcoming and it expanded your brain, your network, your connections. And then you got a referral out of it, did you?
Yeah, I did. One of the actual panel speakers at the event, he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, Carson, follow up with me in a month because my mom is actually going to be moving to Indiana. So I want you to help me and follow up with me in a month.
Cool.
We'll see where we are then."
That's so neat. Andy on our team just closed from a referral that he got from Family Reunion in February this year. So these things happen, and going to connect with people, they want to have this connection with you, and then they can give you the referral. It's weird to give a client to someone you don't really know. So going to these kind of events, you get referrals, you get connections, you learn.
Yeah.
So, and then you came back and talked to us a little bit about it at the core group, and it was really cool to see that you took advantage of an opportunity and you learned and you're growing, you're gonna get business out of it. So I want to end with the coolest thing that happened to you this week, which was you are working your social media, you're chatting with a friend from high school that now lives in Florida, and tell us the story.
So I was just finishing up a golf outing that I was helping work, and I got a call from my buddy Ryan, and he said, "Hey Carson, I'm looking at a property right now, and the seller agent doesn't want to write the offer for me. Do you want to write the offer?" And I said,
Yeah,
yes,
you do.
let me get home, let me get this set up for us. And one counter offer later, we got that under contract, and it was a good initial experience because
Your
honestly,
first buying offer.
yeah, my first buyer side of the deal,
Yeah.
and I mean, I've never met him in person.
That's amazing.
We graduated the same year. He went to
Wow.
HSC, I went to Fisher's,
Okay.
and we just connected on social media because
So neat.
he's got the entrepreneurial mindset, and
Okay.
so do I, and we just clicked.
I love that.
So just staying connected and him bringing that to me was pretty huge for my first buy, and
Yeah.
really thankful for him and to meet him.
Yeah, and the cool thing is I was out of town, and so you called our teammate Andy. Andy on demand is what we call him.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys burned that midnight oil and went to the office, and you
Yeah.
worked together. He was working on an offer. You were working on an offer.
Yeah, it was like at 8:30 at night. He was like, "Meet me at the office. Let's walk through this together."
I
And was
love
like-
that.
I was so thankful for him.
Yeah, and that's what I want to share for newcomers, newbies, young. Even if you're old and you're new to real estate, it's so important to be on a team.
Yep.
Because you can lean on your teammates
Yep.
for situations like this. You're going to do a couple more, and it's going to feel like riding a bike. But those first couple, you need to be a mentor or a coach watching, because this is someone's financial life. A
Yeah.
contract is a legally binding contract once they sign it, and if you don't understand it, and if you don't complete all the steps right, you can really have a detriment to your client, right?
Yep.
So having Andy and me and the team always supporting you and
Oh, yeah.
cheering on you, that we were just so excited when you got your first buyer pending. What day was that? Last week, Friday?
Yeah, it was on Friday.
Yeah.
Late in the evening, I was in contact with the listing agent,
Yeah.
and she was like, "We're gonna send a counter offer in the morning."
Nice.
Sent the counter, we accepted, and got it.
And
under
did your
contract.
family cheer for you?
Oh yeah. Well, I surprised them. I didn't tell them till I got home. And I was like, "Guys,
okay.
guess what just happened?" And I told them, and they were like, "Yes, awesome." They were
Yay.
so happy.
And you ripped that first Band-Aid off. You got your first buyer pending at the age of 19.
Yep.
You're going so far. I want to interview you in a year and see where life has taken you. And I
yeah.
just want to thank you for being the youngest kid in the brokerage, but also one of the most mature you have such an old soul, and you care about helping people. And let me tell you, 15 years in this industry, it's not about the money or the sales. It's about truly getting people to understand types of loans, how to buy a house, how to stop renting, whatever that is, because it can create a better life for them.
Yep.
And by giving to others, we give more, we receive more, right?
It's a relationship business.
Totally. So, well, thank you for sharing your story.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us on the brokerage, and I will continue to cheer for you no matter what.
Oh yeah. I'm
Yeah.
blessed.
Yes, we are. We're blessed to have you. So everyone, tune in, watch Carson. He's gonna soar. We're so thankful to have this young blood around us in our brokerage. And if you are young, if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, we love to talk to you. So I think it's a great way to build your life around a business that you can create and make it your own. And I think Carson's probably going to be retired by the age of 40 at the pace you're going. Yeah. Well, thanks everyone. Tune in next week. We are going to have another special guest, and it's just the never-ending love of portfolio and learning about investments, investing in ourselves and real estate. And we're here for any questions. So thank you, Carson, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Megan.